everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. A week or so ago we looked at how to do hyperlapses. I hope that you got a lot out of that and that it was helpful. Today we're going to check out how to do a drone lapse. It's essentially the same concept, but you're going to be doing this with the drone, so you get the aerial perspective, and you're going to be using automated flight sequences and timed photographs. It's pretty cool. Whenever I actually took my drone shots, the weather wasn't too great. It was pretty hazy, so I didn't get a whole lot of great footage, but nevertheless, that's not a reason not to update and post. So here's what I got. I will say though, I really did like the shot of it moving towards the sunset, and also whenever it was moving towards the city. I thought those were pretty cool. Showed a unique perspective and the lighting was pretty interesting. So I'm gonna go grab my drone gear and we're gonna jump on to the iPhone recording so that you can check out how to set up your drone and how to get the shots. And then we'll jump into After Effects and Premiere to wrap it up. Okay, so make sure that you are in camera mode, and then open up the menu for this camera settings. And I am at ISO 100. I'm actually using an ND filter. It's a 32 stop, and that's basically a set of sunglasses so that you can get more ideal camera settings when it's really bright outside. You don't have to use that, but it is definitely ideal. It will allow you to get better footage. Okay, go ahead and click on the middle settings. And go ahead and click on photo. You're going to want to do a time shot of 2 seconds. And image size, make sure it's the widescreen format. And you're going to want to shoot in JPEG, otherwise you won't have the option to take a picture every 2 seconds. You can shoot in RAW, but it only does 5-second time shots, and if you do that, it's going to take you a lifetime to actually finish this, so it's better just to shoot in JPEG so that it doesn't take so long to get the amount of shots that you need. White balance, we're doing sunny. Style, I do +1 sharpness, -1 for contrast, and 0 for saturation. And D-Log is what I use because I edit afterwards in Lightroom, and that's what I'd recommend. Alright, so you can go ahead and take off. And it's really windy outside today, so I'm not actually going to be doing the entire drone lapse flying, but I'm just going to do a little demonstration of what that would look like. And there's different ways you can do it. You can do it manually, but I recommend using the intelligent flight modes so that you don't have to hold the control stick for 30 minutes straight in a perfect position. That's almost impossible. So click intelligent flight modes. You can do a few different things. One of them is tripod mode. You can do that and do it manually. I recommend waypoints or point of interest. And an example of what a waypoint shot would look like would be this. And a point of interest shot would look something like this water tower drone lapse here. For demo purposes, I'll go ahead and show you how to do a waypoint shoot. It's pretty simple. You'll select new mission, and then you're basically going to record the waypoints as you fly forward. I'm going to try and follow this road here on the screen, and you can use the C1 button to mark your waypoints. It's basically the button on your index finger, left hand. So I'm flying, 1 point recorded, and I'll hit another one here. And once you get a few, you'll hit done, apply. It's going to ask you to fly to the starting point before you can actually apply it. So go back to your starting point. Okay, once you're pretty close, if you hit apply, it's going to ask for return to home altitude. Go ahead and hit that and apply. And then it will start to go to the first waypoint. Now you want to make sure your speed, no matter what flight mode you're in, is about 3 miles an hour. That will give you a pretty good movement to have a nice drone lapse speed. So you can see it's taking the shots here, and essentially you're going to just let it run its course all the way to the end of the waypoints, and then you have your shots. I'm not going to make you watch all that, but that's pretty much how you do it. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Adobe Lightroom and show you what to do with the photos after you get those taken. Okay, once you open up Lightroom, you're going to make sure you have the right photos in here, and go ahead and go over and click develop. And you're going to want to figure out a filter or preset. I'm going to try this one. I really like that actually. It shows up nicely in the trees, and also the sky still has some pretty good range, and then a nice bright sun, which will actually dim as the photos go on. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go with that one. And then you go back to your library. You're going to select all the photos. You can hit Control A, and then you're just going to add the preset to all of them over here on the right where you click the drop down, and it will apply that to all the photos. And then all you have to do from there is go to File, click Export, and you're going to make sure that it's saved in the right folder that you want. I always make a separate folder for edited photos so I don't get confused in After Effects and spend time on the wrong ones. Do JPEG format, quality 100. You don't really want to change anything. You want the max resolution. And then make sure you got your custom text. And the important thing is to make sure that it's custom name sequence. Otherwise, it's not going to work whenever you try and make a sequence in After Effects. And so you're going to start with the custom name sequence, and then start number is 1, and that way it'll export 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end so that it's all in the right order. So go ahead and click Export. And then we'll go ahead and jump over into After Effects and show you how to make this into a sequence. Alright, so once you're in After Effects, you're going to go over to the left panel here and double click to import your photos. And once you navigate to the right folder, make sure it's your edited versions. Click on the first one, drag, hold shift, and click the last one, or you can use Control A as a shortcut, and then make sure and select the box for import JPEG sequence. And once you have that, make sure that it's on none or no composition, because you're going to be creating a new one, and then you'll just drag the sequence and drop it in the timeline. And all you have to do from there is go to File, Export, add to render queue, and then make sure you got your file name how you want it, and then it's saving in the correct location. And go ahead and hit render. And this will take a few minutes. I'm not going to make you wait on that, so we're going to jump over to Premiere and we'll show you how to finish it out for a cool drone lapse. Okay, in Premiere, double click over here in the media browser to import your file. And go ahead and navigate to wherever you saved it. And you'll just open that AVI file. And you're going to want to make sure that your timeline is set up to what your end product is going to be. I always use 24 frames per second. It's actually like 23.978 or something like that. So I find a video clip that I know is already that frames per second, and then I'll just drop that in there so that the sequence is in the right frames per second. Alright, once you drop it in there, you'll just delete it, but the sequence settings will stay the same. Then you'll take your Drone Lapse and drop it in the timeline. And make sure to click Keep Existing Settings. And you'll notice that it's not in frame, and that's because the picture pixel dimensions are too wide. So to scale it down to the right size, double click the file, click on Effect Controls, and type in 48 on scale. That should get you as big as it can be and still in frame. Could be a little different, but if you're using a DJI Mavic Pro, it won't be. So you can see it looks pretty cool, but it's a little bit shaky. So we're going to stabilize that with, so right click this and you're going to click Nest, which will allow you to add warp stabilizer to it. Go ahead and click on Effects, and then type in Warp, and then drag and drop Warp Stabilizer on top of your file in the timeline. I usually just use the default settings. There's a few different ways you can play around with it, but every time I've tried to mess with it, it usually just looks better with the default settings, so I recommend you just give that a shot and see how it works for you. So it'll take a minute for the warp stabilizer to work. I'm going to skip ahead so you don't have to watch that. So once it's completed, all you have to do is go up to File, Export, Media, and then I typically just use for the format YouTube 1080, and then I click Maximum Render Quality, and then I'll double check my file name and the place where it's going to save so I can find it. And once you have the spot you want to save it in, you just click Save. And if all goes well, you should have a drone lapse that looks something like this. I hope you guys really enjoyed the Drone Lapse tutorial. I know they're pretty fun to make, and you can get some pretty cool shots whenever you have the right weather and the right lighting. So I'll probably have some of those in my future videos when I can get some really nice composed shots with a lot of dynamic range and contrast with the clouds and the lighting. Stay tuned, I'm going to have another video this week, and also there's going to be some motorcycle videos coming soon. We went and picked up a bike for one of my buddies. It's an FZ09, which is a lot of fun. That's this one back here. We're going to be installing a bunch of parts on it, making it primo condition. So look forward to that. If you know anybody that would be interested in this type of content, please share it with them. If you haven't subscribed already and you want to, hit that button on the bottom right and like this video. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.